Hello, Kentuckians. Philip Derber here, Senior Pastor of Faith Victory Church right here in the capital city of Frankfort, Kentucky. And I just want to share some things with you about Kentucky, about our great state, this commonwealth that we all have come to know as the Bluegrass State. And as a pastor, I am very much involved in people's lives and watching how they change from one area into a successful area over here, and so forth, by the power of God. And I know, as a leader myself, to be able to lead people correctly, they need correct information. If I'm giving them wrong information, it's going to lead them down a wrong path. And I've been in this capital city. I'm in my fourth decade up here, and started this church here in Frankfort, and just love the city, love our state, love our nation. But I'm concerned about what we've seen in the past nearly 4 years under Andy Beshear. And in just a few short days, we got a decision to make, Kentucky, on who's going to be the next governor. Is it going to be Daniel Cameron, or is it going to be Andy Beshear? Now, I have already made a couple videos and given out information. You can go to them and view them if you're undecided or maybe even misinformed, because it's a crucial place we're at right now. And in Kentucky, we're not California, we're not Illinois, we're not New York, we're Kentucky. And we have some morally good, family-oriented people in this state. And I believe God has taken my voice and got it to your ears so that you can hear some things that are straight up truth. Now, this whole thing with the drag queen. I don't want drag queens in our libraries teaching our kids, and I don't want all of that being done. But yet, Andy Beshear had this picture taken with these drag queens who are very much anti-God. And I will just go on to say this, anti-family. Yes, that is the governor of Kentucky that you're looking at, taking a picture with those drag queens there. And then, I'd like to bring to your attention too that I brought out in another video how Daniel Cameron is all for voter ID, and Andy Beshear is not. Documented, can't spin your way out of it, just straight up truth. Now, in the governor's election, back when Andy Beshear supposedly won 49.2% over Governor Bevin, 48.8%. Now, did you get those numbers? 49.2% Andy Beshear. Matt Bevin, 48.8%. And Matt Bevin had reason to want these things looked into. And if you will just look at this video clip of that night when the election is going on, you're going to see right before your very eyes how votes at the very moment were taken away from Governor Bevin, and that same amount was given to Andy Bashir, right on live television, caught. So watch this right here.
What's happening in this clip is this is the live feed from Clarity Elections coming through the Associated Desk or Decision Desk HQ. So this is the live feed. You're seeing the database that Clarity has as it gets updated with votes, okay? And right now, oh, and this little ribbon at the bottom, this is generated by CNN. And they update this a second after they get the update from Clarity up here. So let's just look. Right now, Andy Bashir, who is the guy that upset Matt Bevin, the governor at the time, Andy Bashir has 673,948 votes. That ties to what the ribbon from CNN says. Same thing with Matt Bevin, 662,235. So 662,235. Now, let me take you through, and real quick, I'm going to run it again. You're going to see, if you're watching just this gold, you're going to see a flash update, and then this guy's face fills the page, and then I'm going to show you what you really missed. So here we go. Watch the gold. The update's coming. Boom, there it updates, and now here's this guy. Now let me show you what you missed. We're going to drag this back frame by frame. And so here we are before the update, and now I'm going to start walking you forward. Watch the gold. Here comes the update from Clarity. Boom. There it is. So now the update, Andy Bashir has 674,508 votes. And look down below, Andy Bashir had 673,948. They haven't had a chance to update the ribbon because this is in split seconds we're looking now. So Andy Bashir has just gained 560 votes. That makes sense. That's what happens as more votes come in, right? Let's look at Matt Bevin. He now has 661,675. But look down below. He did have 662,235 at the exact same second that Andy Bashir has gone up 560 votes. Matt Bevin has gone down 560 votes. This is vote switching in the computer. And by the way, between the 560 gain and 560 loss, you have just seen 25% of the loss amount of this race happen in front of your very eyes.
Now, you just saw on national television what happened that night, see? And so I'm concerned with what has happened in these last nearly 4 years under Bashir. And I'm going to bring some things to your attention. Now, you know, in the last video I put together, I talked about our slogan, our Kentucky slogan, the unbridled spirit. That's the Kentucky slogan. And as a pastor, as a citizen of Kentucky, and my community, my city is Frankfort, I felt very much bridled under the executive orders that kept coming out from Andy Bashir. And you know, a lot of it was hidden under the pandemic and so on and so forth. But let's look at some things, and there's some things that are just straight up, what are you thinking? What's going on? Why are you doing that? So I know personally that our church, being just a few blocks from the governor's mansion, was under a microscope for not closing our church, see? But listen to this. This is all documented. The state police were ordered by Bashir to wait for worshipers in church parking lots to take down their license plate numbers. Some of you probably already know about this. Some of you may be hearing this for the first time. You can look it up, find it, it's there. The state police were ordered by the so-called governor to go into church parking lots, on Easter, by the way, to take down license plate numbers of all those that assembled to go to church. And then they were given quarantine mandates because they had violated his executive order. Well, that didn't fly very well. And I know that personally made the newspaper myself because of I didn't think it was right that the church was deemed non-essential when other places like liquor stores and so on and so forth were essential. So that's just one area. Now, Bashir went on and ordered 1,700 inmates to be released from prison. 1,700. Now you better get a hold of this, because 553 of them, state recorded, 553 of them committed felonies less than a year and a half after being out. What kind of person frees 17, all in the name of, well, you got COVID spreading throughout the prisons, you know. Oh, so now you're going to release people that are infected with COVID back out into the community. Hello? Doesn't make any sense. But that, we have a clear decision to make here on November 7th. Now, on top of that, the kids were kept out of school. Our kids that are on the national level of education, Kentucky ranks way low. We got a literacy rate that is just appalling. Our kids don't know how to read and write and do math at a high level. Oh, I know there's kids that the parents are involved and they're either homeschooled or they really watch over them. And I know we got great teachers, so on and so forth. And it's all blamed on, you know, that because we had to close the school because of the pandemic. Whoa, time out. Those numbers were declining way beforehand. We got to get our schools back up. We got to get our kids to understand the basics of education to go on in life. Not to mention all the small businesses that were shuttered, the restaurants that were closed. You know, Bashir is claiming to have created all these jobs. Listen, there are less people working now than when he took office. Less, documented. More people government dependent now than before. So, you know, I'm a believer that a laborer is worthy of his hire. And, you know, that we ought to embrace capitalism, not government paying for everything. There's people that are making more money from a government check than when they were working. Something's not right here, right? And then on top of everything else, you remember, some of you may remember, where he wasn't letting anybody leave Kentucky. Remember that one? Had checkpoints at all the state lines to keep people from leaving unless you had a very legitimate reason. to leave, and you'd have to have that all approved. And are you kidding me? We're in America here, see. But he was getting very power hungry with all this power that a governor has. So the legislature went and wanted to do something about that. He would not call them back into session to do something about it. He had the power to call them back into an emergency session to pass into law and get some legislation going, but he didn't want to do that. Why? Because he knew that what he was commanding to be done through his executive orders, that the legislature was not going to approve. And thank God for Attorney General Cameron we had going to bat for us through all this. You know, when we finally had got the legislature back in there, and they started passing laws to take away to where this would never happen again, to where a governor could never have that much control over an entire state. Well, he fought it. Beshear fought it. But Daniel Cameron came and opposed it, and Beshear sued the legislature along with Attorney General Cameron, and the Supreme Court of Lexington ruled in favor of Daniel Cameron. And then when legislature came in, they passed laws to where that would never happen again, to where a governor could not have that many have that much controlling power over an entire state. See, and you know, I love this state. I enjoy Kentucky. I'm a four-season individual. I like winter, spring, summer, fall. I like the four seasons. We have them here. Beautiful, from the mountains to the rolling hills to the land between the lakes, you know, and our big cities are just big enough. That's the way I am. And but anyways, let's look at some more things here that I found real interesting about this time of Beshear in office. The crime in Kentucky has gone up. Murder rate 31%. We're talking Kentucky here. What's wrong here? What's happening here? See, and the police, the fraternal order of police that once backed Andy Beshear are not backing him anymore. They're backing Daniel Cameron. And Daniel Cameron, they've seen how he's acted as an attorney general, and I'm pretty sure, I haven't talked to any state police about this, but I'm sure they didn't like being told to have checkpoints at the state line or go into church parking lots and take down license plate numbers. I'm sure they weren't taught to do that in their training to be a trooper or be a policeman. And while we're on endorsements, let's look at who has been endorsing who. Now, let's start with Andy Beshear. I just listened to an interview with Daniel Cameron himself, who said in the interview that Andy Beshear just came out and endorsed Joe Biden for president. Now, is that what you want? A Biden-Beshear combination? He just endorsed. See, that shows you. And in turn, Joe Biden gave $250,000 to Andy Beshear's campaign. big money coming from outside Kentucky into Andy Beshear's campaign, because Kentucky is a very proud state. We don't have any professional baseball teams, basketball teams, football teams. So, we're big into college basketball, football, everything, just the Louisville Cardinals to the University of Kentucky Wildcats and all the other schools in between. And we're a very, Kentucky folk, we just Kentucky folk. We don't want this kind of big government and these twisted views of family and gender and ideology to come in and control us. And Beshear endorsed publicly Joe Biden for president. And so that ought to let you know where he stands. And in turn, Joe Biden gives him $250,000 for his campaign. See? But on the other hand, excuse me, President Trump endorsed Daniel Cameron. So he has President Trump's endorsement, and for that matter, he has Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell's endorsement. The NRA, the National Rifle Association, endorses Daniel Cameron. Why? Because of his stand on the freedom of having your own guns. Now, folks, this ought to tell you something. When you see a group of people endorse a candidate, that ought to let you know that their whole circle of influence that they are involved in, they're endorsing that particular candidate because of their interest in what that candidate stands for in their policies. See? So the NRA, National Rifle Association, has endorsed Daniel Cameron. On top of that, I've already mentioned FOP, Fraternal Order of Police, and you got sheriffs, you got troopers, you got policemen all across the state endorsing Daniel Cameron. Then you got SBA, the pro-life group, the Susan B. Anthony group, see, that is supporting Daniel Cameron. Now, pastors, listen. Leaders, listen. You need to be sharing this kind of. You don't have to share this video. You can. I would encourage you to, but you can listen to it, make your own notes, and share it. But as we got a few more minutes here, let's go through some vetoes that Beshear, as supposed governor, has vetoed. House Bill 3. This is just a few. There's plenty of them. House Bill 3. Beshear vetoed the bill that would ban abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy and crack down on abortion medication and put up barriers for minors seeking access to the procedure. Andy Beshear vetoed that. You know what Daniel Cameron did? As the Kentucky general, Cameron fought for Kentuckians' right to protect the unborn and their mothers. He took legal action against Beshear's administration for failing to implement this House Bill 3, a law that protects unborn children from late abortion when they can feel pain and stop dangerous mail-order abortion drugs. In 2021, Cameron argued in front of the U.S. Supreme Court and won his case defending Kentucky, the Commonwealth's ban on live dismemberment abortions. Now, who in their right mind would want to veto that? Andy Beshear. House Bill 3. Beshear vetoed one of the most ambitious Republican priorities of the session, potentially in Kentucky history. Listen to this. a bill that eventually would completely eliminate Kentucky's income tax. Vetoed it. How would you like your taxes, state taxes, eliminated? Count me in, but not Andy Beshear. House Bill 7. Beshear vetoed this bill. Why? Because it added new rules to benefit programs. Medicare, food stamps, right? It passed in the House and the Senate overwhelmingly. They were just wanting to put restrictions on this so that, there's got to be, you got to qualify for this kind of help. Beshear vetoed it. House Bill 150 or Senate Bill 150 that would ban gender affirming care for transgender youth in Kentucky. Are you kidding me? Blocking, banning puberty blockers, hormone surgery for kids under 18. Would also ban lessons on gender identity, sexual orientation, prevent trans students from using bathrooms that correspond with their gender identity, stop schools districts from requiring teachers using students' pronouns if they don't align with their sex assigned at birth. He vetoed that. Senate Bill 83 would ban transgender girls from participating in girls or women's sports grade 6 through senior year of college. Beshear vetoed that. Come on, Kentucky. In a few days, the fate of our state lies in the voters of all of us. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're a patriot, whether you're a patriot Christian, get to the voting booth and vote for Daniel Cameron. And if you have a Bible study or if you have a group or whatever, or you just want to share this on your social media, get it out there. Get it out there. We only have just a few days before this very important, the most important election in the state of Kentucky in my lifetime is right now. And I can't stay silent anymore. Pastors, if you're listening, inform your congregations. You say, well, I don't want to use my pulpit for that. Well, then hold a special meeting and let them know about it. But I believe that Kentucky in November is going to experience a turn around. Go and vote for Daniel Cameron. God bless Kentucky.